As I speak to you right now, I am at lunch. I'm at the National Theatre of Scotland. I'm in the car park. I'm at lunch. We're rehearsing a show called Orphans that we're doing a wee tour of Scotland with. It's been hard work for an old man like me. My thighs have been killing me. But the agony that I'm facing just now is that I started playing Elden Ring on Friday. And when I started playing Elden Ring on Friday, a wee story for you. I was maybe an hour into it, right? I'd created my character. I'd got myself out into the world. I'd kind of started exploring. I'd started getting some... I got a level or two up. Really enjoying it. And then all my power cut off. Lost all my power. And my power's been going off for a weekend, pretty much. So it's a weird kind of cursed weekend where I couldn't play Elden Ring properly. It looks like I've turned that corner now. And it is now Monday, the 28th of February. Well, the episode will be going out the night. I say episode, but it's more just as chatting to you, telling you about how to make Consolevania, and I just want to be playing Elden Ring. So next episode, it's going to be an episode that's all about Elden Ring. It's an Elden Ring special. Will be what me and Ryan are doing for the next episode of Consolevania. But this month, just a wee bit of chat about what we were talking about and what we announced earlier this month, which is that we've relinquished all rights to Consolevania. This is just our version of Consolevania we're making just now. So we'd be delighted to hear that you people out there are making Consolevania as well, so I hope that happens. That would be nice. I want to also tell you a wee bit about the games that I've been playing, just to keep you updated. Particularly interesting because I've been doing this rehearsal process, and it's been quite intensive and it's long days, and I've not had a huge amount of time for gaming, but I have been playing games, of course, on the Nintendo Switch, and I've been catching up on some stuff I missed. So I'll be talking about a wee bit of that as well. A couple of wee games that I've... Not new games, one that's a new physical release, right enough, but special games that I want to tell you about. So I'll be doing that. I'll be telling you about that, and in the process of telling you about that, I'll show you how to make Consolevania. That's what this is all about, this episode, making Consolevania. Catchy. I need to go and sing!
Hey guys, welcome to Ryan's How to Make Consolevania video. I don't know how in-depth Robert's video is going to be. I don't know how many different steps he's going to take you through, but mine is quite in-depth. So don't start it lightly. There will be quite a lot of homework and stuff, and the first thing I would like to introduce you to, before you do anything, and before you even pretend to yourself that you're going to be able to make Consolevania, I would like to introduce you to the Neil Breen filmmaking workshop that I have on DVD.
How I write the script for the film. Be creative.
It's just a quick 6-hour, 2-disc tutorial on how to do filmmaking, and then we'll skip to romance. I think is quite an important part of filmmaking, isn't it? So we'll skip to romance.
The love there is really between the two twin brothers. Learn to love yourself, other humans, and humanity.
As I say, it's only 6 hours long, the tutorial on how to make not shite films. He's got a nice couch, hasn't he? He's got a nice sofa. Would you like a nice sofa? Then you should listen to what the experts are saying.
All of the props in my films, I make myself. Whether they're props such as the hospital room, all the accessories that are on the hospital bed, all the equipment. I do everything myself. I made the hospital room. I made the children's rooms. I made all the dining room table settings.
A pro tip that I would say for making Consolevania is to make a list of what it is that you need to do. Because if you make a list, then you can just do the list in order and you won't get all mixed up and stuff like your dad does. Hi there, shh, in a minute.
My budgets are not micro budgets. They're not extremely low budgets. My films are expensive. There's no getting around it.
This is the list that I've made on how to make Consolevania. Obviously the first one here, that's the most difficult one. You start with the most difficult one, have ideas, and then that's optional, I would say. That's optional. You could just talk about your breakdown, your mental breakdown and stuff. You don't really need to play games if you're talking about your mental breakdown, so that's optional, I would say. Don't forget to go off your nut about some technical bullshit. That's something that you will find happens all the time. I captured inscription footage earlier, and for reasons that are completely beyond me, a lot of the footage just captured on the Rang monitor. So I've just got 2 folders here. I've got 2 folders just sitting doing nothing. I've got the audio for the inscription, but I've not got the actual footage because NVIDIA just decided to capture the Rang monitor, and I don't know why that is, and I don't know how to fix that. So I'll just need to go to bed and hope that the computer fixes it itself in the morning. Generally, that would be my advice for any technical issues that you have. Just turn everything off and go to bed.
Where are you going to get the money to do your film? You're going to get it from your family, if they're incredibly wealthy, which is probably not the case. It wasn't in my case. You're going to get it through money that you saved personally during your working years, which is another option, which is the option in my case. Or you're going to get it from investors, which is not likely.
So far, hopefully you've had an idea. You've watched the 6-hour filmmaking course by Neil Breen. You've had a mental breakdown about technical issues. So next up is just to basically film stuff, which is what I'm doing right now, and edit stuff, which is what I've done there. So that's hang on. So it's fairly self-explanatory. I don't really think I need to go into any of that. Just film it and then edit it.
That light, to me, is magic. Or whether it's a totally nighttime film, such as I did with Twisted Pair, that dark light is magic.
A good tip, I would say, for the creative process, if you're ever like struggling for ideas or trying to come up with some writing or whatever it is that you do, I would recommend just getting all your housework done, because it doesn't solve the procrastination issue, but it does get all done. Look at the amount of dishes there are there. That's permanent, like that. That's her doing all that cooking. Just never ending. You can't get rid of it. I don't know how I'm supposed to be able to concentrate and come up with stuff. Anyway, I'll see you later. Just for anybody out there that would be so snide as to say that Neil Breen doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to filmmaking, look at the size of the green screen that Neil Breen is awkwardly walking in front of just so that they can get footage of him walking in front of a green screen. And there he is, and he's got loads of monitors and a laptop, so fucking shut up, right?
This is the editing bay that I use to edit at a relatively low production budget. Here's the head from Fateful Findings.
These things are really useful because they mean that you have to go out of the house. A key tip to making Consolevania is getting a dog. Rab's not got a dog, but he doesn't need one, so he's got, I think it's about 6 wains, something like that. But having a dog means that you get out of the house at least once a day to walk, I think. Otherwise, the dog, what happens is the dog goes mad, it just goes insane. And then you'll go insane as well. So you need to walk the dog at least once a day. It helps, mind you, if you've got this. It's a couple of minutes down the road. So that's a key tip in making Consolevania. Make sure that you've got a dog and this. Otherwise you'll definitely go mental.
On Twisted Pair, I really set out to challenge myself technically as well as creatively. When I designed this film to be about two identical twin brothers, and obviously I only had me to deal with. I don't have an identical twin brother. So in all of these scenes I needed to create a twin brother, but a twin who was somewhat different. And in fact, as the film goes on, he becomes a twin with a full beard.
Usually one of the final stages in making Consolevania is to do the voiceovers. You've edited the footage, you've had all your ideas, you've watched all your tutorials, you've done all of that, and the last final stage is to talk into one of these over the footage that you've done, you've filmed and you've edited and all that, and you've lit it all properly, and obviously you've drawn up your budgets, and you've got romance in it the same way that me and Robert have always got romance in our Consolevania scripts every month, just like Neil Breen taught us to. The final stage is to voice over that footage. Now you can do that in two ways. You can write yourself a script, which takes absolutely ages, or you can just turn on the microphones and just let it rip and just go, I blimmin' hate this. This is absolute jobbies. Oh, I really like this because it's jobbies and I like jobbies. You know, that kind of thing. Oh there. Where's the fucking button? Where's the button?
Time to end his global plans. They can't stop.
Click on that, put it in there, type this.
There are people that you'll never please, ever. Don't worry about it. It's meaningless what they think. Don't worry about it.
Congratulations, you're now a Consolevania professional.
Hello mortals. This is the voice of Demo Moore. Please pull up your trousers and pay attention. Vampire Survivors is playable on Mac, Android and PC. There's even a playable browser version. But Demo Moore thought the browser version ran like a shit old man.
Speaking of shit old men, hello, it's Ryan here. I've also played Vampire Survivors and really strongly reminds me of like a Jeff Minter game where there's loads of mental stuff happening. Controls a wee bit like you would imagine you were playing like a twin stick shooter, but you're only really controlling one stick. You're only controlling the position of your guy and trying to navigate through these hordes and hordes and hordes. It's very, very simplistic, but it does have something going for it. There is something pulling you in with all its bleeps and its bloops and its numbers.
Inscription is a roguelike card game from the maker of Pony Island. You may find it creepy. Demo Moore does not find it that creepy. Demo Moore has spent time with Michael Douglas. So nothing creeps me out anymore. This is the voice of Demo Moore.
This is the voice of Ryan McLeod. I was really impressed with the Inscription demo. I'm definitely going to play the full length game. I also liked Pony Island when I played it way back. I love it when Wii games are doing lots of interesting things, and it helps when they're so immaculately put together the way this is, the way Pony Island was. It appears to be a card game set in a creepy cabin. You can actually get up for the table and walk around in the cabin. There's things like wee puzzles to solve here and there, but the main crux of the game is this card game that you're playing. So you're trying to do him more damage than he's doing you and tip the scales that are on the left hand side of the game board. Like I've just done there, and I've snuffed his candle light out. So I've beaten the demo. And then weird stuff happens. I'm definitely into this demo. This guy makes interesting things.
Hey there, card gamers.
This is the voice of Demo Moore. Please stop eating and pay attention. Demo Moore loves demos because they serve an important purpose. They allow players to have a taste of the game and make their minds up about purchasing the game. The decision to bring out a demo of Sifu that was only available to streamers and influencers deeply angers Demo Moore. If ever there were a game that players would have benefited from sampling first before purchasing, it is this. Demo Moore will punish and purify those responsible. Demo Moore does not fuck about.
So a demo did come out for Sifu, but none has got to play it because none are PewDiePie. I'm like 80% sure I want to play this game because they're all in their pants, them that are fighting there. But what if I buy the game and 10 seconds into the game realise that I'm just absolutely shite at it? Why do I not get to play the demo?
This is the voice of Demo Moore. Please stop masturbating and pay attention. Triangle Strategy has now released a second demo. A longer, prologue demo ahead of the game's release on March the 4th. Multiple demos would usually please Demo Moore, but this game looks like a bore for babies.
Wrong, sir. Wrong. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
She will never be invited back on Consolevania for saying that. I'm struggling to remember the last time I was so enthusiastic about look how boring this game looks, probably to you guys. Boring choices, conversations and graveyards. I'm struggling to remember the last time I was so enthusiastic about a video game. The prologue demo that they've released, that ArtDink has released for Triangle Strategy, lets you play through the first 3 chapters of the game, and I love just about everything about this. In fact, I think I love everything about it. There's so much talking in this that you won't be able to stand it. They have arguments about who's in charge of the salt, who's in charge of the iron. It's just all politics, and it's so immaculate looking. It's got so many nudges towards the PlayStation 1 era tactics games and things like that. It looks like a successor to a PS1 tactics game, except it's a brand new shiny. It's a shiny brand new thing. And definitely, I'm sure part of the reason why I'm so transfixed by it is not just how boring it is, how boring the story is, and how dense the characters are, and how much talking there is in it. Oh, it's so good. It's all the shininess. I'm transfixed by it because it's always kind of glimmering. You stare at the Switch screen and you're kind of transfixed by the beauty of it. It's so colourful and cosy, and it seems for the few fights that are in the demo like it's going to play really well as well. But you will probably think it's boring. But I like boring. The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen. You need to convince other characters to vote the way you want them to vote. You need to go around and talk to them and convince them what way is it going. Yeah, dancer, that's what I wanted. Oh, I'm so excited by how dry this is.
I swear to God, man, I thought we were done with this. Like, when I was a wee guy, and I'd seen Threads on the telly, and I'd seen When the Wind Blows and all that, and I was scared, man. My ma used to go working on night shift as a geriatric nurse, Stop Hill Hospital. I used to be like, I wish my ma was in the house. Be lying in my bed thinking, I wish my ma was here in the house so that if it happens, we'd all go together. I thought it was done, man. I thought all this was fucking done. Thank God then for games like Lonely Mountains Downhill, which is a game that's been out for a fair while, but I've only just started playing it on my Switch. I've also been playing a wee game called Crown Trick as well, which is like it's almost like, you know the way Sheeran the Wanderer works? Sheeran the Wanderer works where he kind of, as when you move, the baddies move. Like in the Ludacris song. I've been playing Crown Trick as well, and I'm loving that. Check that one out. But Lonely Mountains Downhill, is really something special. It's been really helping me to chill out and relax, because it's just a game about going down a hill on your bike. And when I first started... Oh, you bastard. When I first started playing it... You're looking at one of my early attempts here. When I first started playing it, I thought to myself, this is nice. This is pleasant. We're out in nature, we can hear the birds singing. It's just me and my bike on a hill, nothing else to worry about. And I thought, well, this is nice. You just control your bike. Everything feels really nice. It feels really nice to control. It looks beautiful. Just a totally pleasant experience. And then I'm coming down the hill, and then when I got to the bottom of the hill, I checked what my challenges were, and I thought, there's no way I can do it in that time. This is one of these amazing games where you get struck with a realisation that there's far more to it than you expect. There's a trail there. You can see the trail that this bike is riding on. This trail is for your bike to go down. You want to ride your bike down that trail, it's obvious, right? You can see other bikes have went that way, but in truth what Lonely Mountains Downhill is all about is finding your own path down the hill. That means sometimes coming off the trail and going in a different direction. Going down a descent that looks a wee bit precarious. Now this looks like I'm absolutely rotten at this game here, but I will confess, and I've tricked you a wee bit here, and the reason why I've tricked you is part of this thing about how to make Consolevania yourself, because this is actually a bit of footage that I've pulled off YouTube. I didn't actually capture myself playing this. If I was capturing myself playing it using the Switch, you can only capture them 30-second chunks, which isn't very good for showing a game like this. So I just pulled something off YouTube and used it. Didn't even credit it or anything. It's probably no very good, is it? No very decent. Maybe that's something we should change, but that's what we occasionally do. Not very often, but we occasionally do this. I know Ryan's done it, I've done it on occasion. But, you know, usually it's us. But in this occasion, I'm just no fucking having a situation where you think I'm as bad at this as this fucking guy is. And maybe I will fucking credit the guy, man, because he's absolutely rotten. Anyway, it's an absolutely amazing game. A totally blissful... Oh, Jesus Christ, he's so fucking bad at this game, man. What's the fucking guy's name? Hold on. Handheld Players or something? Fucking hell, man. Anyway, the game's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's like a 10 out of 10. It's like Tony Hawk good, this game. Tony Hawk, but relaxing.
I find it very strange that the title page to Ollie Ollie World doesn't have any music on it, because there's music throughout the entire the whole game, apart from the title screen. It's weird that it's silent, but you didn't hear it was silent because I was talking on it, sorry. I've been playing, excuse me, I've been playing Ollie Ollie World on Switch, badly, obviously, very badly. But that's one of the good things about Ollie Ollie World. Sorry. I'm sorry, I just get annoyed and frustrated at words sometimes. Plus I think being shite at this game is making me a wee bit tetchy. One of the good things that I like about Ollie Ollie World, as I was saying, is that it's more accessible than the previous games in the series, which is good for me because I'm obviously absolutely rid rotten at it. You don't think I'm rid rotten at it looking at this footage, but this footage is nothing compared to somebody who is actually quite good at it. I've got the basics done, that's about it, but one of the good things about Ollie Ollie World is it's more accessible, so you can definitely get through the game even if you're not very good at it, such as like Ryan. And what they've done with the tutorials, I actually quite like. I like all the characters in it as well. It's very, I think you'll agree that it's very kind of Adventure Time looking, the design of a lot of the characters and world. But what I was saying there was that the tutorials are placed throughout the whole game, so the whole time you're playing through the game you're getting told how to play the game, so that's to incentivise you to play through the game again and go after all of the score attack type things. To my eyes, to my near 44-year-old eyes, impossible score attack scores. They're definitely not called score attacks, are they? Because that sounds too 80s. I think I've made that up. They're no score attacks, are they? The high scores is what I'm talking about, the level high scores. Every level has a high score, and people feel, around the world, show off and embarrass me with their high scores. That's what I'm talking about. I love the design of this game. It's really, really pretty and warm and friendly. And the amount of customisation there is for your character is absolutely staggering. I just sat for ages sometimes just pressing the random button and there again. It helps that music is playing through it. That's another thing I love about Ollie Ollie World, is that the music plays consistently through the whole game. Like during the level the music's playing, but if you then end the level and you go to the world map and you pick another level, it's the same track of music that's playing over or through all the loading screens as well. The music just keeps playing. I really, really like that touch. It ties everything together quite nicely, and the music itself is quite laid back and chill. It's for the most part quite relaxing. As usual, I had a look on the internet to see what other people were whinging about, and they were whinging about how the writing wasn't very good in the skateboarding game. The writing wasn't very good, but I don't even agree. I couldn't disagree more, because I enjoy all of this kind of part for this character. Dad, that's his name. His name's Dad, and this is the partner he's hitting it with. I like that. He's got a crossword in the go. A dad would have a crossword in the go. That's authentic writing. Idiot. When it came to checking after high scores and hitting the B's and doing they kind of targets, I was just no good, but I thoroughly love playing this game. I was playing it for 2 days before I made a very, very important discovery. I was stuck wall grinding, but then realised that you need to kick off the wall grind the same way you need to kick off a rail. Then levels started to chain together better, and my scores got bigger. Not that I was ever really that arsed about the scores, to be honest. I was only just playing the game to enjoy playing the game. That's probably the biggest selling point, I think, for the game, is that you do have these occasional, for me, windows of like zen gameplay where things are chaining together nicely. What you're doing as the player seems to be mixing in with the lovely, smooth, stylish graphics and the chill music. You're playing a wee part in this slick wee symphony. That death was quite traumatic. Would it be alright if I ask you a question? It's quite a personal, nosy question. Have you met somebody in your life that you just want to spend all your time with? Some people are lucky enough to meet somebody like that. Me now among them. And most of the time that I spent playing Ollie Ollie World was late at night when I was apart for that person. Oh, and to be honest, a bit of a downer, going, I don't really rate this experience of going to bed by myself knowing that I'm going to be waking up by myself. This is a bit shite. And Ollie Ollie World has been a bit of a companion. I didn't shag it, obviously, and you can't prove that I did, but it really has been a comforting play. I really do rate it as a game for switching off, for relaxing, for taking your mind completely off of the stuff that it's on and just involving yourself in the game. Is that an ET frog riding a bee up there? No, I don't like that. No, I don't.
Watch carefully.
When Masterclass approached me about teaching you how to make Consolevania, I was humbled, but also a little bit afraid, scared, fear, as we would say in Scotland. Oh, fear is the kind of thing we would say here in Scotland. But I feel it's a great opportunity to talk to you about how to make quality video game programming. The first thing I would say, the first thing that you need to know is the philosophy behind Consolevania and where that came from. Consolevania started a long time ago. Fundamentally, it was a couple of friends that said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to make a show about games? Back then at the start, we distributed it ourselves on discs. We posted discs to people. We were lone wolves, we were tigers. We took the tiger by the tail, as some people might say. And I think that's what you have to do in the creative life. In the creative life, you have to take the tiger by the tail. Don't try to approach a tiger from the front or take the tiger by the tongue. Don't try to take the tiger by the teats. Tigers have teats as well to feed their babies, the baby tigers. take a tiger by the tail, I think, is always the best approach for me when it comes to any creative pursuit, and I think that would be the first thing that you should note down when it comes to Consolevania, is to take a tiger by the tail. The second thing would be that we are fiercely independent. Many other review sources, review sites, review shows will have close relationships with PR to get early code, to get access, all about access. The world is very much about access. I remember myself and Ryan went to a place called Cardonald College, and there our tutor there, his name escapes me in a minute. Ryan would remember, I'm sure, but he would say is networking. It's all about networking, everything in this game. Well, we've proven, I think, with Consolevania that you don't need to network to do your thing. Nobody likes to talk to me and Ryan, really, so we do our own thing, we buy our own games. Lately, I think Ryan does send an occasional email out to ask for a key or a code from somewhere, but usually these games only cost about £3.50 anyway, so the companies aren't losing out much by giving us them. Certainly, they're not going to give us a Gran Turismo or anything. We're going to have to pay from that out of our own nose. You're going to have to take that out of our beaks. But I think that makes you fiercely independent, proud, and that's why you become the most respected video game review comedy show in the history of video game review comedy shows. The other thing is your clout. You can't just step up to the plate and make Consolevania or make a video game review show without having chops. You need chops. I remember a story that Ringo Starr once told me about the Beatles. The Beatles originally had a drummer called Pete Best, and they went to Hungary, Budapest, the Beatles' famous trip to Budapest to play as. They were playing about 70 live gigs a week, but 50 gigs a day in Budapest. They turned up there with leather jackets on. By the time they left, they're not just in their pants. And they came back home to record a couple of singles for EMI. And their great manager, the Beatles' great manager, Jeffrey Epstein, he called up Pete Best, who was the drummer of the Beatles, and says, listen, the boys don't want you anymore, they want someone new. They want Richard Starkey as he was known at the time. He joined the band, and to cut a long story short, the Beatles were born. They took a tiger by the tail. And I feel that the reason why Pete Best didn't become a full-fledged Beatle, is because he didn't have the chops. You've got to prove you've got the chops. Me, for example, in a heartbeat, I can show you, here I have some very collectible editions of my favourite King of Fighters games. This one in particular, from Pix and Love in France, is one of the most rare releases of a Neo Geo game, of Garo Mark of the Wolves. And you've got to prove that kind of stuff. Basically what I'm saying is you can't make Consolevania unless you have got the chops. You need to be Ringo, you can't be the Pete Best in this situation. I think it's quite ironic that he's called Pete Best when he wasn't. Crucially and fundamentally, the most important thing I would say is that you have to be outrageous. I think Consolevania is subversive and outrageous, and I think that's the thing you always have to aim for in your work. You never know what's going to happen when you watch Consolevania. You could be watching something like this, a masterclass. You're settling in with your wife and your family to watch Rab telling you about how you make Consolevania, and then suddenly,
reach for the speed, reach for the whistle, go where the rail may run. Reach for the words, reach for the story, follow the rainbow sun. To a shining time station, where dreams
last. I'm going to show you the inside of the station. Ta-da! This is it. Shining Time Station. What do you think?
It's nice.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's just something about this place. Come on, I'll show you around. Now, this is what we call the information desk. This is where folks come to find out, what time the trains run and where they're headed. Do you think you'd like to work behind that desk? Go on, give it a try. Let me see what you look like. Oh, wait, step up there. That's more like it.
Excuse me, sir. Does the express train to Fort Farley stop at Cloggyville?
I don't know, Aunt Stacy.
Now you say yes.
Yes. Oh, good. Then I'm going to have to buy a ticket.
See, that's how it's done. In order to ride the train, you have to have a ticket, and this is where we sell them.
Oh, excuse me, sir. May I please buy a one-way ticket to Cloggyville?
Yes, you can.
Okay, now you take a ticket from there. And you find the puncher. That's it. You punch at Cloggyville. Perfect. And then you stamp it. And then I'd give you my money. Thank you, young man. It is a pleasure doing business with such an efficient railroad. What did you say the name of this railroad was?
Shining Time Station on the Indian Valley Railroad.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to remember only to travel on the Indian Valley Railroad. Next stop is the waiting area. Now, this is where the passengers can sit. And as they wait, they can read. Or they can stare at their feet. Or they can twiddle their thumbs.
How do you do that?
Be thirsty.
That's neat. I know a different trick.
What happened to your thumb?
It's right here.
Oh, good, because you're going to need your thumbs when we go to the arcade. Look at that. There's music, there's games, and there's movies.
Movies?
Here, just put some money in here. See? And turn that crank. And look in here.
The handle came off.
Oh, it probably just needs a little glue. I'll fix it later. So, this is quite a place, isn't it?
Yes, but it's different than I thought it'd be.
Oh, I bet I know what you want to ask me. Do trains ever stop here? Well, some do. Steam engines, diesel engines.
Fire engines?
Oh, Matt, come here. This is my plan. I'm going to make this old station as good as it ever was. There'll be passengers rushing around, going to faraway places. It's going to be a very busy station, just like the days when my old granny used to run it. And then lots of trains will want to stop here. Will you help me?
Sure.
Great. Now listen, there is a railroad engineer coming here this afternoon. And if he likes this place, then maybe he'll stay and help too. So, where should we begin?
Let's begin with the painting.
Oh, it's a beauty, isn't it? It's called a mural. And it shows the way people used to travel and how they travel now. And if you use your imagination, you can almost hear it come to life. Listen. let's get started. You know what we need? We need some music to work by. Put that nickel in the jukebox, okay?
Somebody dropped a nickel into this here jukebox. We have to play the song.
Well, I'm all set, Red.
What should we play, Tex?
What are those noises in there? Where's my song?
Hey, there's like a kid looking in here. He can't see anyway, and he can't hear us unless we play a song. Let's play something totally fast.
Let's just play something we know.
How about some railroad vibrations? A 1, a 2, a 3.
Oh, I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning.
I did.
Don't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn.
Who's Dinah?
Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn?
She's a horn player.
Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn?
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know.
Ow!
Someone's in the kitchen with
Dinah, strumming on the old banjo, singing the fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, fee-fi, fiddly-I-O, strumming on the old banjo. I've been working on the railroad. I've been working, yeah. I've been working on the railroad.
I like it like
That's up so early in the morning.
Oh, I'm gonna go get some clean water.
Here, you missed a spot. It's the window over here. You did the others, so don't miss this one. That's a good lad. Can't do a job halfway. What's worth doing is worth doing well, I say. And that goes double when you're doing my windows, because they're double paned. A pane in the neck and a pane to clean. Do you know what I see when I look at that clean window?
No.
The inside of the switch house. What else would I see? Well done, lad. What's your name?
Matthew.
Or is it Matthew? And you may call me Mr. Conductor. Well, you're a good worker. You know who'd like you? My friend Thomas.
Does Thomas live there with you?
Dear me, no. Thomas is a steam engine, and he lives on the island of Sodor. You are interested in trains, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Splendid. Then I'll tell you a story about my friend Thomas. You do like stories, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Very well, but first I have to find my whistle. Ah, here we go. Thomas is a tank engine who lives at a big station on the island of Sodor. He's a cheeky little engine with 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine too, always pulling coaches about ready for the big engines to take on long journeys. And when trains come in, he pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. Thomas thinks no engine works as hard as he does. He loves playing tricks on them, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me? One day after pulling the big express, Gordon had arrived back at the sidings very tired. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. "Wake up, lazy bones, do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me." And off he ran laughing. Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could get back at Thomas. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His driver and fireman couldn't make him start. His fire went out and there was not enough steam. It was nearly time for the express. People were waiting, but the coaches weren't ready. At last, Thomas started. "Oh dear," he yawned. He fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting. "Hurry up, you," said Gordon. "Hurry yourself," replied Thomas. Gordon, the proud engine, began making his plan to teach Thomas a lesson for teasing him. Almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon reversed quickly and was coupled to the train. "Get in quickly, please," he whistled. Thomas usually pushed behind the big trains to help them start, but he was always uncoupled first. This time, Gordon started so quickly they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Gordon's chance had come. Come on, puffed Gordon to the coaches. The train went faster and faster, too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't. "Peep, peep, stop, stop!" "Hurry, hurry, hurry," laughed Gordon. You can't get away, laughed the coaches. Poor Thomas was going faster than he had ever gone before. He was out of breath and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on. "I shall never be the same again," he thought sadly. "My wheels will be quite worn out." At last they stopped at a station. Thomas was uncoupled, and he felt very silly and exhausted. Next, he went on to a turntable, thinking of everyone laughing at him. And then he ran onto a siding out of the way. "Well, little Thomas," chuckled Gordon, "now you know what hard work means, don't you?" Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long, long drink. Maybe I don't have to tease Gordon to feel important, Thomas thought to himself, and he puffed slowly home. Thomas got a little carried away with himself. It can happen to the best of us. Whoops, I must be going. Goodbye, Matt. I'll speak to you soon. And don't forget those corners.
It's Stacy. There's a little guy who lives in here in the wall.
Oh, no, is he back? Oh, what did I tell you?
There's just something about this place.
Oh, he is so shy, and he travels a lot. Listen, Matt, remember I told you he's a railroad engineer that's coming? I wouldn't mention any of this to him. You know how grown-ups can be. He may not understand.
I know.
Oh, here he is now. Hello. I'm Stacy Jones. This is my nephew, Matt.
How do you do? This is my granddaughter, Tanya. And my name is Henry Cupper, locomotive engineer and master mechanic. You can call me Harry.
Well, welcome, Tanya. Welcome, Harry, to Shining Time Station. What we hope will be the best train station on the Indian Valley Railroad. And we can sure use the help of an engineer of your experience.
Well, the railroad asked me to stop by and have a look, but I haven't told them yet I'd take the job.
Oh, of course. Well, why don't I show you the station? Matt, would you mind showing Tanya around? Okay. Thanks. Let's start out here.
You want to meet the little guy who lives in the wall? There's a little guy who lives in the wall. He's about this big. He's a conductor. Hey, Mr. Conductor! Hello, come on out. Are you hello, please come out.
That's a picture. There's no little guy in there.
Oh, yes, there is.
Hey! What's that?
They play movies in there.
Oh, sure.
It needs glue. It needs a pen.
Whenever people tell you to stop where you are, it doesn't mean you're not still free. Stop where you are and see where you are is the only place you can be. So start where you are. Right before your eyes there's air. Take a magic breath. There, now you're filled with super fuel to go where you'll see, hear, smell things, weird things, swell things. Start where you are. Right before you stands your friend. Touch your fingers end to end. That connection starts the spark that lights the dark. For someone who goes nowhere, you might go where you'll look into the corners where you never peek. All the corners of the world belong to you. Hiding's only half of playing hide and seek. Gotta go and look to find what's true. Start where you are. Take a magic breath, touch hands. Now you're touching magic lands, and the journey's never far. 'C's things are stirring, fizzing, whirring, whizzing, beating, darting, meeting, parting, starting wherever you are.
Wow, start where you are? That's here. Well, what do you think?
Well, I'd have to set up my workshop. Don't know where I'd do that. Perhaps over here, but then folks would be traipsing through it all the time.
Oh, no. Your workshop is right in here.
I've never had my own workshop before. I've always had to share. But of course, I'd want to make some changes, put everything in its proper place. Oh, no, son, please don't touch that. Those are my railroad tools. You can hurt yourself. This could do nicely. Careful, son. When you're on the railroad, you have to watch what you're doing.
If you've come back to clean the windows, they haven't had a chance to get dirty.
Where did you go before?
Railroad work takes me everywhere, Matt. You don't spend a lot of time in one place. It's a traveling business. I was just off traveling with Edward.
Who's Edward?
You don't know Edward? Of course you don't know Edward. You didn't know Thomas. How could you know Edward? I'll tell you a story about Edward.
One day, Edward was in the shed where he lived with the other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it. "The driver won't choose you again," said Gordon. "He wants strong engines like us." But the driver and fireman felt sorry for Edward. "Would you like to come out today?" "Oh, yes, please," said Edward. So they lit his fire, made lots of steam, and Edward puffed away. The other engines were very cross at being left behind. Edward worked hard all day. The coaches thought he was very kind, and the driver was very pleased. "I'm going out again tomorrow," Edward told the other engines that night. "What do you think of that?" But he didn't hear what they thought, for he was so tired and happy that he fell asleep at once. Next morning, Edward woke up to find nothing had changed. Gordon was still boasting. "You watch me, little Edward, as I rush through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you. Goodbye, little Edward. Look out for me this afternoon." Edward went off to do some shunting. He liked shunting. It was fun playing with freight cars. He would come up quietly and give them a push. Then he would stop and the silly freight cars would go bump into each other. "Oh," they cried, "whatever is happening?" Edward played till there were no more freight cars. Then he stopped to rest. Presently he heard a whistle. Gordon was very cross. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a very dirty freight train. "A freight train, a freight train, a freight train," he grumbled. "The shame of it, the shame of it, oh, the shame of it." Edward laughed and went to find some more freight cars. Then there was trouble. "Gordon can't get up the hill," the porter called to Edward's driver. "Will you take Edward and push him, please?" They found Gordon halfway up and very cross. His driver and fireman were talking to him severely. "You're not trying." "I can't do it," said Gordon. "The noisy freight cars hold an engine back so." Edward's driver came up. "We've come to push." "No use at all," said Gordon. "You wait and see," replied Edward's driver. They brought the train back to the bottom of the hill. "I'm ready," said Edward. "No good," grumbled Gordon. They pulled and pushed as hard as they could. "I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it," puffed Gordon. "I will do it, I will do it, I will do it," puffed Edward. Edward pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever he could. And almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill. "I've done it, I've done it, I've done it," he said proudly. He forgot all about kind Edward and didn't say thank you. Edward was left out of breath and far behind, but he was happy because he had been so helpful. At the next station, he found that the driver and fireman were very pleased with him. The fireman gave him a nice long drink, and the driver said, "I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful coat of blue with red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed." And the very next day, he did get a new coat of paint. You're good at small jobs, and you know what a big help that can be.
Did they paint him blue?
He's talking to the wall, isn't he?
Oh.
Is he all right?
Sure, he's fine. Matt, you know how kids are. Matt?
Are you going to come and work at Shining Time Station?
Well, Harry, I mean, Mr. Cupper hasn't made up his mind yet.
Looks like the station's got itself a passenger.
May I help you, sir?
Yeah, Yes, a one-way ticket to Leaping Log, Alabama, please.
Strange sort of fellow, isn't he?
Time for my happy toes to hit the rails.
I guess this isn't the kind of place you're used to.
Nope, I'm used to things being a lot more serious.
Oh. Does that mean you don't like it here?
No, it means it's time for a change. Tanya, would you like to visit me at Shining Time Station?
Yes!
Matt,
Is Mr. Copper?
it's Harry. Would you please run and fetch me my toolbox? This station needs a little loving care. I want to get started as soon as possible. Ah, thank you, son. I think we're going to be friends.
What made you decide to stay at Shining Time Station?
It's hard to say exactly, but there's just something about this place.
Reach for the speed, reach for the whistle, go where the rail may run. Reach for the words, reach for the story, follow the rainbow sun. To a shining time station, where dreams can come true, waiting there for you. So much to see, so far to travel, so much to learn to know. Friends by your side, hopes to hold on to, who knows how far you'll go. To a shining time station, where dreams can come true. Your own imagination waiting there for you.
And then you're back. And that's just the kind of thing you do in Consolevania. You just have an attitude that's, you know, a devil may cry attitude, a devil may care, take a devil by the tail attitude that surpasses everything that, you know, anyone has ever done in the history of creative entertainment or creativity. And anyway, I want to set you some tasks which I'll be following up on. My first task is going to be, I want you to complete a game, and I want you to do some voiceover, write up a little review about that game, and do it in the Consolevania house style and share that with us. And the second thing is going to be that if you want a real version of this, then look out for that, because that will be going up on the Patreon in the days to come. There'll be a real version of this, because this in itself was a creative exercise. Is always pursuing art is important, I think. Well, you've got to take that tiger by the tail. So.
The coffee's kicking in. Yeah! There's a tempo to life, there's a tempo to every song. You can lift the band and the band can lift you. In the Beatles, it was like being psychic. We knew what to do and we loved to do it with each other. Best band I ever was in. I love to play. I love to sit behind those buggers. It fills a lot of my soul. You know, the way I play is sort of a purposeful way. When it gets to the chorus, go to the bell. I still do to this day because it raises it up. You know, you got to work for the verses. With the chorus, you can rock. With the bass drum, once I've hit it, that's what I've done. Some people like deaden it, off. Deaden it, off. Off. Deaden it. Off. Deaden it. Off. Off. The dream of being a drummer came when I was 13. I was in hospital. I had tuberculosis. To keep us busy, a music lady would come in with percussion things, maracas, triangles. She gave me a little teeny drum the first time she came in. And something came over me that I knew this is what I want to do. If I can give you anything to take away, you just got to love what you're doing. And you've got to do it your way. And it doesn't matter if there's 40,000 or 40 people. You've just got to get yourself some friends and play. The more you play, off, the better life is. Off. 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 I'm Ringo Starr, and this is Masterclass.